The first part of what is today the Preston to Blackpool line opened in 1840 as a branch line from Preston to Fleetwood, which was at the time the northernmost part of the rail network. In 1846 a branch opened from Poulton to Blackpool North, marking the beginning of Blackpool's boom as a seaside resort. In 1874 a second branch to Blackpool opened from Kirkham and Wesham through Lytham to Blackpool Central. After a serious accident in Poulton-le-Fylde in 1896, the station was resited, creating a much gentler delta junction than before. With Blackpool's continuing boom, a new straighter route was opened from Kirkham and Wesham to Blackpool in 1903, known as the Martin Line. It was at this point that Blackpool South opened, where the Martin Line joined the Lytham route. Blackpool Central, meanwhile, was expanded to 14 platforms and was the world's busiest railway station in 1911. In the Beeching report, the Blackpool North Line was recommended for closure, but Blackpool Council successfully negotiated with British Rail to close the Martin Line instead, so they could turn it into the M55 and the Yeadon Way to provide better road access into Blackpool. The Martin Line, along with Blackpool Central, closed between 1964 and 1965, with Blackpool South becoming the new terminus of the line via Lytham. The Fleetwood Line, meanwhile, closed in 1970, leaving us with the network of lines around Blackpool we have today. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the remnants of the former railways in the area, starting with the Fleetwood Line, the start of which can be seen from Poulton-le-Fylde, where the former junction can be seen from opposite the station entrance. The tracks were, in fact, connected until April 2017. Since then, as part of the electrification work, the tracks have been disconnected, the old signal box has been removed, and the old semaphore pylons, which used to give away a fantastic clue that the station used to be a junction, have also gone. On the other end of the line is Fleetwood Station. In fact, there have been 3 different stations in Fleetwood. The first, between 1840 and 1883, was off Dock Street. This was replaced with the Queen's Terrace Fleetwood Station, which closed in 1966, when the station one stop down the line, Wire Dock, was renamed Fleetwood, though it was then closed just 4 years later. Sadly, no trace remains of any of these stations. The site of the Queen's Terrace Station was turned into a container port, which was itself closed in 2011. So just around the corner is one of the stations, or the remains of it. This was Fleetwood Station number 2 on Queen's Terrace. 4 platforms plus platform 5, which was a boat platform, was demolished after the Beeching cuts, and so it was turned into basically ferry loading, which is what you can see now. But you can quite clearly see where the station was, even if there's nothing actually left of it. So just around the corner, this kind of massive open abandoned space continues. Somewhere around here was the first station, also called Fleetwood, at Dock Street. There's only one platform, so you can see why. So not long after it was built, it was closed, and then the new one was built slightly further up. Again, you can quite clearly see where it was, but no actual trace of it. One excellent bit of railway history that can still be seen in Fleetwood is the North Euston Hotel. Since Fleetwood, when it opened, was the furthest north one could travel by train, passengers bound for Scotland would come to Fleetwood by train, stay overnight in the North Euston Hotel, and continue on north by stagecoach or by boat. The trains to Fleetwood, of course, had started at London Euston, hence the name. The Poulton Wire Railway Society aims to reopen the Poulton to Fleetwood line in the future as a heritage railway. Now we look to Blackpool Central. The Martin Line was turned into a road, and at the end of it, Blackpool Central rather fittingly became a car park, where most car day trippers to Blackpool will usually find themselves parking. Part of the station site is now Coral Island. We looked around the central car park for any trace of the station, but we didn't find anything particularly interesting. So we've come to the site of Blackpool Central, which was once 14 platforms wide. Its space is now occupied by Coral Island, and also the central car park, and there should be a retaining wall somewhere which was originally part of the station building. Let's see if we can find it.
So we're trying to find any trace. Wikipedia says there's a retaining wall, but we can't seem to find it. It's just like it looks too 60s or 70s. That there is the beginning of the Yeadon Way, which is the road that they built on the line from Kirkby and Wesham to Central, which quite appropriately terminates in a massive car park, which was Blackpool Central Station. So again, it's very much like the case of Fleetwood. You can see quite clearly where it was, but in terms of actual trace of the former station, there's really not much to see.
Oh, and a quick note about Kirkby and Wesham Station, where today's Blackpool North and South branches diverge. In the recent electrification and modernisation project of the Preston to Blackpool North Line, Kirkby and Wesham gained a new Platform 3. Platform 1, which used to serve westbound trains, now serves all trains to and from Blackpool South, whilst Platform 2, which originally served eastbound trains, now serves westbound trains to Blackpool North, with eastbound trains from Blackpool North now using the new Platform 3. So that was the railways of Blackpool and Fleetwood. For more about Poulton Le Fylde, including what is essentially an older version of this video, check out the Poulton episode of the Trainspotting Tour. Anyway, thank you for watching and please subscribe.